Hey everyone, welcome to the Q Racing Network. This is my Homestead Weekly Review. Starting off with the Truck Series, we saw Kyle Larson steal a victory from Lane Riggs after spinning himself with 40 to go and then charging all the way through the field to come back to battle Lane Riggs and Corey Heim, who was in the midst of refiring his truck and still competing for a win. Ultimately, Larson keeps up the idea of the weekend sweep alive, and Corey Heim continues to cement himself as the clear and runaway championship favorite. Moving on to Xfinity, Allgaier ends up stealing a win away from Kyle Larson, which was not the theme of the race on Friday night, but Larson ends up getting the race thrown away by a late race restart that saw Sam Mayer push him really hard before he ever even started the race as the control car, which was very interesting to see. And ultimately, Allgaier gets redemption for Phoenix for getting one stolen from him by stealing one from the 17 car. And hopefully Larson doesn't have to look back on this with regret, right? Before we get into the Cup Series, I'm just going to go ahead and explain how this is going to work. I'm going to go in reverse order the finishing results and give a very brief reaction to the race for everyone. The team looks really fast, but another sub-30th place finish for the fourth time this season. Maybe that boy band wasn't a bad idea. Far and away the most dominant car of the day, and if this continues and they blow an engine 3 more times, then Blaney might join the Casio guys, because this would be a season of 5 big booms.
And then...
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
They lost one at Phoenix.
I'm fucking blown up. You have got to be shitting me. Oh my God. Sorry, fellas. It'll go our way eventually, I hope. Appreciate the fast car.
Not a bad day for the team, not a great day for the team, just a day. Hopefully they can get a little bit more speed to catch up with the Rick Ware guys. Not a great day at all. This team has completely regressed from where they were last season. Hopefully they can continue to pick it up. Well, at least it wasn't 17th, but it wasn't great either. I know that the driver in this car is more capable of what the result shows, which is very disappointing. But he's not the most disappointing thing about this team's performance this week. This is just bizarre to see Ross this far down the order. Trackhouse looks a little lost this week. Not the greatest result for the Todd father, and a little disappointing because so far through this season, where people thought he was going to take the step as the lead driver at front row, it's been anything but. Not sure how you go from being a juggernaut and a title favorite three-peating to this, but here we are. But you're still in the playoff lead, so not much really that you can complain about either. Not the greatest result for a team that had a wide variety of expectations for themselves this season. They definitely look way far away from what they're doing in Xfinity right now, though. Well, Ty's Linsanity run was over. He was smacking AJ Allmendinger the first couple weeks, and now AJ has completely pulverized him in a matter of 2 weeks. Are we sure that Harrison Burton was the problem with the 21 car? Because he's doing good in Xfinity, and now that Jeremy Bullins has moved away from the 21's running really good. But now Brad is in the same spot where Harrison was last year. Well, it wasn't an awful day, but not still quite up to the Gibbs standard yet. Not a bad day, not a great day. Though Ricky has seen a lot better races at this racetrack, so maybe a little disappointing. Surprisingly, the 42 team's most disappointing result of the season, which is very weird to say considering where they were last year. Honestly, this team's been doing great, nothing to complain about. On paper, this is a great result because you were far and away the best Trackhouse driver of the day and way ahead of your 2 teammates. On the other hand, I'm unsure if this moves the needle or not for his future with this team. For those that aren't a part of Rowdy Nation, they may be a little confused why all the Kyle Busch fans say this is not the result the team deserved that day. It's not. They ran 30th with SVG the whole day. Kyle Busch just brought the car back up to 21st. They need to get back onto the first 4 races form they were on earlier. Stop going back to 2024 form.
Guys, I mean, we were horrible today. If you don't like that kind of racing, don't even watch.
A solid day for McDowell. He's still in the playoff hunt right now. Nothing much to complain about. The team looks very solid. Like all the other Penske cars, the 2 starts off really strong, fades in the end of the race, and ends up with a subpar result that's not in the top 10. Well, they started 18th and finished 18th, but that's a little concerning considering where their teammates are. Not a bad day for the 21 group. They started good, didn't finish as well as they probably had hoped, but they're still in the playoffs, so nothing much to complain about. While Noah had a very interesting way of saying his car was fast the entire weekend, probably not the result he was hoping for.
Execute all day. Do what we can control and lock in. It's a good time. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yes, sir. It is a good time. Go do what you've done the entire year here, man. It'll work out for us. We'll flip this thing in one weekend. Yes, sir. I'm bricked up.
And just like that, for the first time this year, Eric Jones beats John Hunter Nemechek in a race. In a solid top 15 with that too. Good job, Eric. The anomaly continues. Logano still has the most laps led on the season, but is yet to score a top 10 in the entirety of the season so far. He's not going to repeat what he did last year, is he?
It's a bunch of BS. It's not even freaking close.
While the 18 struggled the whole day, the 3 team was on the up and ended up getting a good result out of it. Not the greatest result for William Byron, but not a bad one either. But Hendrick also said that it was a tough day last week at Vegas and they had all the cars in the top 10. So maybe not the best day to their standards. Zane Smith has been so underrated and under the radar that people are writing him off that he can't even make the playoffs and he's the best car in his team so far. When Justin Haley strapped into the 7 after replacing LaJoie last year, this was the expected result. Not what we got.
Reddick, Bell, Larson, Hamlin, and then Haley goes around. Lap 1 crash. Can everybody miss him? Justin Haley got his best qualifying of the year in the top 10 for his new team, Spire Motorsports, and he's gone around on the opening lap.
Good to see that they're finally up to form and being very underrated and making a very good case that they could be in the playoff hunt. They say that lightning can't strike twice, but so far, Priest Lightning has been on fire this entire season, and another top 10 to continue this momentum is a great look, and honestly, a breath of fresh air to see Ryan Priest actually running this good. Not a bad day to be in the top 10, but this is not up to the standard that Reddick and the 2311 team have set at this racetrack. AJ and the Colleague boys have been up to a strong last couple of races so far. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep this up though, because Homestead and Vegas are 2 of AJ's best tracks, so these 2 races might be an outlier.
Let's go, man! I love you! Come on! Come on!
Just another Chris Buescher day. You run top 10 all day, you fly up through the field at the end and pick up spots and get a great finish. Not much to complain about. Denny's debut in the blue was a good one. They scored top 5 and finally get back to almost being in race-winning contention for a change. When you talk about rebounds, this is a rebound that was much needed. Good to see Briscoe finally get a good day and live up to the expectations that he has at Joe Gibbs Racing with Toyota. While Brad's crew chief swap has anchored him, Bubba's had skyrocketed him into a completely different driver so far. It has been a great thing to see this team finally start off a season really well, as opposed to making a second half comeback. On paper, this was a great day for Alex Bowman, but I don't think people are going to let him live down that contact with the wall with 5 to go.
Not getting that fence.
And he already made the right move of putting this, now he's in the fence.
There it is. Watch it. Oh, he's in it hard too.
Pull off of it, pull off of it.
And here comes Larson. And Kyle Larson takes the lead.
And that's exactly what we were talking about, Clint. Don't make that mistake.
And following the theme of the week, Larson ends up stealing another one. Now, he probably is going to want to have Saturday back, but overall, nothing to scoff at. Ultimately, at the end of the day, he was still in position to win, and he got the job done, and that's all that matters. Maybe not a championship favorite yet, but getting 5 extra playoff points from a race that you ended up taking away from someone else will end up paying dividends later on with this format. And taking a look at the standings, there are a lot of interesting things to take a note of. Cody Ware still has yet to pass Jimmy Johnson after 6 races, and Jimmy still only ran the 500 and finished 3rd. So not at all where this team was last year. Ty Gibbs has had a terrible start to the season and is going to have to play catch up for the rest of the year. When we get up to the guys outside the playoff bubble, Noah Gragson has been really fast, but is way far behind his 2 teammates. The Dillon brothers being tied this point in the season is very interesting because Ty is tapering off where Austin Dillon is taking off. Then you have Hocevar, who's been really fast and had a tough time getting the results. Gillen and Smith being neck and neck, but also Smith being the lead car of front row. Allmendinger has made a big jump to put himself in the playoff conversation. And then Nemechek, Busch, and Preece all tied for the playoff bubble right now. Then once you get into the top 16, Ross is on a big-time drop. McDowell is sticking with his top 15 points position right now. The 2 lead Penske cars and Barry are all neck and neck, but the Penske drop-off has been insane. Denny and Bubba make huge pushes to put themselves further into the playoff bracket. Christopher Bell's downward spiral continues, and Hendrick dominates the top 3 so far, and William Byron has not looked back since taking the points lead at Daytona. With all that being said, next weekend at Martinsville is going to be very interesting, and there are a lot of things to look forward to and a lot of things that are going to be interesting to follow. But I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts and predictions for what's going to happen next week. First of all, I think that Lane Riggs is going to be the first person next week that wins in the Truck Series that is not named Corey Heim or that is a Cup Series regular. I think that it's just obvious to pick him on a short track, obviously, but he's been really close the last couple weeks. They've been really fast. They've had good speed, and I think this is the time where they will finally put something together at Martinsville and go into victory lane. Xfinity is going to be a little harder to pick. It's going to be a very interesting race. I'm going to go ahead and make another prediction that I think that this will once again be another race where Parker Retzlaff will put himself in a top 10 qualifying spot for Martinsville. He's just super good at the short tracks, and even with Alpha Prime, I think they are going to be just lightning fast in qualifying and will be in contention all day for a top 10 spot. I don't think Allgaier will continue his strand of dominance. I think it's going to be someone else that arises and picks up a victory this week. I think that Eric Almirola is going to win again. I think that he's just been so strong and Gibbs needs to assert themselves, but I don't think it's going to be one of the younger guys yet. It's just Almirola's been so good. It's just not that time yet for Taylor Gray or William Sawalich or Brandon Jones. You know, he's not a younger guy. I just don't think they're quite there yet. But I do think one of those 3 will emerge as a championship favorite against Allgaier later in the season. Finally, for Cup, I have a couple predictions. I think that Trackhouse is going to struggle once again. This is a track that they don't typically run well at, other than their only highlight is Ross hauling the wall to make it into the Final Four a few years ago. So I don't see them having a good day. I think RCR may be in contention again. It's very interesting. I think they're going to be ones to watch on whether they're either going to be in the mix or they're going to be in the back. And there's pretty much going to be no in between for that team, I feel like. For the winners, I don't know. I want to lean towards Gibbs because I think this is another track where they're going to try and assert themselves and get into the hunt of winning races again. I just don't think it's going to be Bell, though, and I'm not sure. I'm not feeling it. So I think I'm going to have to lean towards another Hendrick win, but it's not going to be Larson. It's not going to be Chase Elliott. It's not going to be Bowen either. I think William Byron will win once again for the first time since the 500. I just feel like it's going to be one of those races where he will either... I don't think he's going to dominate. I think he's going to sneak in and probably lead about... kind of what Larson did this week. Lead about 20 laps and sneak there at the very end and steal it away at the end. Thank you all for watching. If y'all have any critiques or pointers or anything that y'all want to comment on about this video or future videos and how I can improve, just let me know in the comments below. I hope y'all subscribe, and y'all have a good one.